is Nina. I am a yoga teacher and health coach. I've been teaching yoga for over 20 years in Cape Town and online recently, and I have been a health coach for over 3 years, teaching people how to implement the daily practices of Ayurveda into their daily life. So that is me, that is my background. Today we are going to be chatting about seasonal reset. So I'm doing these lives every day just to give you a little bit of information about a bit more background on yoga, a little bit more background on Ayurveda, and yesterday we covered the concept of hydration. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about hydration, head to that video and see what it's all about. And one of the questions that came up in that video is like, well, Nina, what exactly is a seasonal reset? And the reason why this question has come up is because 4 times a year I run a seasonal reset for my community. And so I was chatting about that in that video, and the question was like, well, what exactly is a seasonal reset? So I thought, well, that's a really good idea or really good question. And it actually needs a video in itself to explain what it actually is. And it's not more complicated than what it states it is. So a seasonal reset is where each season, we take a pause. We just pause, we stop for a moment, and we reflect back on what happened in that past season. And then we can make a conscious choice as to how we want to enter the next season. And this is important for a number of reasons. Firstly, if we were to write a story, I've got a book here. If we were to write without punctuation, we would just have sentences that would be running into each other. So for example, let's read here. If I didn't read the sentence with any punctuation, it would read, first Lex reviews the rules and constraints, the rules by which he is currently choosing to play the game of life. At the time of the recording, the YouTube video featuring his mantra, he held a fasting restraint of food constraint around a ketogenic diet. And it just doesn't sound right. We need to have the punctuation. So if I read it again, first, Lex reviews the rules and constraints, the rules by which he is currently choosing to play the game of life, full stop. And pretty much a seasonal reset is like the punctuation in your season. It's where you have the commas and the full stops in your everyday activities. And the reason why we need to have these pauses, these stops, is so that we don't just run from one activity to the next, to the next, to the next, and we actually end up kind of like trying to catch our tail. We don't really know what we're doing. We end up getting sick, as you can probably hear that I still am. And so why we want to do this seasonal reset is to have that pause, to see, okay, like, well, what happened in this season beforehand? So down south at the moment, we are in winter. So what happened in autumn? What were the things that worked for me? What were the things that didn't work for me? And so one of the things that happened in autumn is that there was a lot of traveling for me. And autumn, for those of you who know a little bit about Ayurveda, is this Vata stage where there is a lot of movement, a lot of change. Vata is air and ether. And so in this season of autumn, I did a lot of traveling. Yes, we went from the farm here to Mozambique to Harare in Zimbabwe. From there we went to Joburg. From there we went to London, spent a couple of days there. Craig did his thing. I went to Germany, spent a few days there. We met up in Corfu, Greece. Now I'm flying to all these places. Then we flew back to London. Then we flew back to Joburg. Then we flew all the way down to George. We spent some time in Nysa. Then we came. So for 3 weeks, there was a lot of movement. And as you can imagine, as you're flying and traveling, you're meeting a lot of people, you're coming in contact with a lot of germs, and hence, it is one of the reasons why it is easy to get sick and why something then sticks with you, because you're in a season of Vata, air and ether. You're moving around a lot, which is air and ether, especially in a plane. And so this is why I consciously had organized our group seasonal reset to happen when I came back, because I knew I wouldn't be in the best state of mind or health. And so it's given me an opportunity to pause, to reflect back on the time, and now to put practices in place So consciously doing and putting practices in place that are going to help me improve my health for the next season. So now as we move from autumn through winter and we move towards spring, I know what I need to do. So and a seasonal reset can be for as long or as short as you want. I like to do 7 days. I like to do a week and take that time to choose one thing, maximum 2 things to reset in your system. So for me, my reset has been getting back into my kitchen and cooking healthy home cooked meals. That's really important to me. So that is one kind of like the practice. Then as a group we have another practice where this one is decluttering. But what you want to do is you want to just focus on one thing. So for someone it might be that they just want to cut out sugar for 7 days. For someone it might be that they actually want to do a little bit more exercise or movement or get into a daily yoga practice. What is it that you know that you need right now to improve your health, even if it's just by 1%? Because if you can improve your health by just 1% in 7 days, if you just start to do that regularly, that ends up being 37% over the full year. And that 37% is that's kind of like ends up being a game changer with your health and your life. So think of the one thing that you could do or would need right now that can improve your health. So this is why we do a seasonal reset, because life happens, life gets busy, it's exciting, it's fun, there's so much that's going on. And when we put a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a bracket, a full stop in our season, and we say, okay, I can still go out and have fun and do all these things, but I'm going to just be focusing on this one thing for these 7 days to help improve and shift my trajectory in a better direction. That is exactly what a seasonal reset is all about. Now, if you're interested, if you're keen, if you'd like to know how to create your own seasonal reset, then head to my website. I've got the link in the description below. There you can grab the DIY detox or DIY seasonal reset. I share with you the 3 key concepts. I share with you and break down the 10 steps that you need to take. And so you're able to create the seasonal reset for yourself from the comfort of your own home. And in there as well is an opportunity for those who do want to do it as a group and come together or be led by me. You are able to sign up and get lifetime access to my seasonal reset. We already have over 50 people in the community. It is so much fun. We come together each season. We each choose something that we're going to be focusing on resetting. And when we come together, it helps us be accountable and follow through. Because it's so easy to set that intention. It's so easy to say, I'm not going to eat sugar for the next 7 days. I'm not going to drink alcohol for the next 7 days. I'm not going to do what you can fill in the blanks. And usually day 1, day 2, day 3 even goes quite well. It's usually day 4 that we start to fall off the bandwagon. And then so when we're in a community and you've got an accountability buddy that will catch you and support you, that is really helpful. So seasonal reset, if you haven't been doing one, if you're a yoga practitioner, if you're a yoga teacher, if you're a yoga student, if you're in any realm in the yoga world and you haven't been putting a pause on your diet, on your mindset, on your lifestyle each season, then I really would say head down to the website, grab that free link, watch the webinar. It's about 30 minutes. You can even put it on 1.5 speed, and that'll give you a good idea as to exactly what a seasonal reset is, how you can do it, why we need to do it, why it is so important to do it. And it'll give you those 10 steps on how you can create it yourself. And then if you feel you would like to be in a community and meet other people who are doing this, go ahead. But my request for those of you who are yoga teachers, create one for your community, because it is so empowering and it is so powerful for your students, for them to be putting a pause on their system. So I'm doing this because I really want to help so many people improve their health, improve their lifestyle, and this is my little way of doing it. I will see you tomorrow for the next live, another live, where I'll be sharing another little aspect on kind of like yoga, Ayurvedic health. So make sure that you like and subscribe and share with anyone who you feel this would be helpful for too. Well, see you then. Lots of love.